Construction is in full swing in the Russian Far East to finish the country's new spaceport, Vostochny. The first unmanned launch from the new facility is expected in 2015, with many more flights to follow. RT's Alexei Yershevsky now reports.
This site is now being described as the main construction site of Russia's Far East. In just 2 years' time, this will become the top priority facility in Russia, the brand new cosmodrome, the Vostochny. This will make Russia independent, mostly independent from the Baikonur cosmodrome, which is now using and paying an annual rent of $600 million. This will also make life easy in terms of political decisions. On several occasions, Astana blocked launch of Russia's satellites and manned spaceships. Of course, when Russia will have its own spaceport here in the Far East, this problem will no longer exist. There will of course be some disadvantages, for instance the transportation of the Russian carriers to the cosmodrome here in the Far East. Right now it takes several days to deliver them to the Baikonur cosmodrome, which is 2,500 kilometers away from Moscow. This site here is 5,500 kilometers from Moscow, so it will take longer and a little more costly, but the advantages which exist in this project of having Russia having its own cosmodrome are much more significant. In the first place, the parts of the carriers, the parts of rockets which are falling off from the rocket when it enters the atmosphere will no longer fall onto the land, and of course will no longer create risks of these parts falling onto populated areas. In the case of the Vostochny cosmodrome, these parts will fall into the ocean. But the biggest and the most significant benefit which Russia will have from having its own cosmodrome is its lunar program. More than half a century since Soviet Union lost the space race to the United States, Russia will be relaunching its lunar exploration program. By the year 2030, as it's expected, a manned spaceship will take off from here to the moon, which will then circle the Earth satellite's orbit.
Just the beginning. That flight will pave way to a whole new moon exploration program with plans to build an observatory and a research lab on the lunar surface already voiced by Russian scientists. Should that be successful, a whole string of facilities including helium mining shafts may follow. There's even a possibility that now lifeless planet could be made inhabitable by humans, and enjoying a quiet evening watching lunar landscapes from the balcony of a moon hotel will no longer be science fiction, but an absolutely real option.